call the City Council workshop, August 25th, 2025, 4:30 to order. Roll call.
Dave Paradise, Joe Hutzel,
Jackie Hines, Jesse Longo, Michelle Adams,
Sam Solars. Straight to business. Strategic plan progress update.
Mayor and Council, the three outlined goals that were the top priority for staff as identified in the May workshop were to update the CIP, to do a staffing study, and then to find external funding sources. I believe we have made some progress on the CIP as we've been going along with the budget. We've been getting some quotes for different things for that, so that's coming together. The staffing study, staff has gone through all of the job descriptions, and I have made changes, and we're actually meeting tomorrow as a personnel committee to go over those. And then they're still not done. They'll still have to be approved by the unions and then by council ultimately. So, but those are moving forward. External funding sources. I know that it's easier to find that sort of stuff when you have a specific project that you're looking for.
I think we need to know what we're going for.
Yeah, so maybe we should identify a project if we want to look for external funding sources, and then, because there's all sorts of databases and stuff for finding grants and finding some of that stuff that we've learned about in training. So if we identify a project, maybe we can look for some of those, or if Park and Rec wants to go forward with one of their projects. We also have to fund it right completely and then go for the grant so that we're not in a situation that we've been in before where we can't afford it ultimately. So if you guys have a project in mind that you want us to look for funding for, otherwise, I mean, there's just so much out there.
Right. I mean, nothing off the top of the head right now. I mean, once we get further into the CIP and kind of figure out where we're at, what our budget's gonna look like. Probably dive a little bit deeper.
I know Ms. Gerard has done some research for some Parks and Rec stuff. Obviously she hasn't applied for any of that yet, so we're not kind of at that point.
Right.
But I know she's aware of several that she would maybe go for if we were looking at a project.
And I think for them, if they're gonna do a park walkthrough at their meeting next month, you know, I think they should maybe prioritize the parks and say, like, we're gonna start with vets, we're gonna redo it, let's set it for 27, so that can also go into the CIP, it'll be like funding and CIP.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think we've discussed vets getting overall,
I know you're on Park and Rec, but I think one thing that we have right in our backyard that we're not using is landscape structures. Getting a quote from them, they actually help you find the grants.
Yeah.
For it, so I think if you can relay that to Park and Rec, would be great.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously something in our backyard that can help us develop more.
Yes, we have a couple people that live in town that work there.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I don't think we're gonna see more free ones, but
No.
you can always ask too.
That was a nice one.
I know that Doug's Park is definitely on their radar for Park and Rec. I don't know where it's at on their priority list, but I know it's high on Dan's priority list, or
Yes.
yours.
Yeah, that's like the
Yeah.
park stuff.
I think it's the,
Yeah.
it's the focal point for the city.
The most.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the equipment is definitely needs
Sandy.
and sunny.
Anything else on that? Thanks for the update. I'll take it. Revised web app discussion. This is something that, kind of along with our AI chatbot, I think it's going to make things a little bit more transparent for the city moving forward. Basically, it'd be a web app, or actually a phone app that residents can download on their phone and have access basically to the website. I think it's going to make things a lot easier for people to get to, as far as kind of being that innovative city. I think it would be a good thing to start looking into. Did go out and get a quote from Revise. basically the setup is about $7,000, and then it's a yearly $3,000 for updates and so on and so forth. Thoughts on something like that?
I did put it in the budget.
You did?
Mhm.
Okay. Especially with us going to a digital newsletter, it would be a lot easier for residents to access it that way.
As an app, does it ping you notifications if there is a new newsletter or any updates? in the city?
So what's the initial setup?
It's like 6,000.
Yeah, it's
No,
like-
I mean, what does it entail?
Building.
So like
Building
building
it
it,
up,
building it,
Building it, setting it up.
so then it would ping and do all of that?
Yep.
All that stuff, okay.
Each individual that downloads the app will have different settings that they can of course change, right, just like anything else.
Just like any other.
And that 7K, does that include the 3K per year?
No.
No,
So
so
it's
it's
like
10K for the
It's
first.
Yeah.
10,000 for this year.
Okay, that's fine,
Yep.
let's make sure.
Yeah, I think that'd be, as we try to be more transparent and try to get more people, especially like I said, with the digital newsletter and most people doing work on their phones. It'd be a good thing for us to have. Look to move forward with it. Yeah, it'd be a good place to make that.
No, I think most people are using phones nowadays, and phones, tablets, the dollar stuff. You wanna make sure you know the information out there, it's not gonna be free no matter what you do. And that's way you can keep them updated on meetings that are going on, town halls, et cetera.
Who's gonna be responsible then for keeping all that updated?
I guess we really haven't gotten that far into it, but who does the website currently?
Kind of a combination of us, kind of all of our certain areas that we cover, I guess. And then I would assume if we updated the website, that would transfer the app, it's not like we got to go
No,
separately
you wouldn't have
update
to,
something.
should be
Yeah.
able to speak with
Yeah,
each
it
other.
should just be one thing.
I did download another city's app from the East Coast, which kind of play around with it. It's pretty cool, it's pretty intuitive. Christie also did the same thing, and yeah, she thought it was, again, it's a good way for us to reach our residents.
You won't know if they had your personal, if they had multiple settings are going off.
I thought we could probably do that. So I just wanted to have that discussion.
So if it's in the budget for next year, would that mean that would be starting approximately January, you don't think so?
Yeah, because the paperwork I got was to start, I guess it doesn't have a start date on it, but I would just assume it would be January 1st. But there would be no expenses this year.
Any other thoughts on that?
Part of our goals we talked about as a group.
Being innovative.
A little bit more material for some people, but I think they'll get it eventually.
It's just like any other mobile app these days.
Yep.
You would actually go to your web store, Play Store, whatever, and download from there.
Yeah, we're essentially transferring the dollars from the newsletter and they can get it correct.
Pretty much.
Oh,
They're getting everything.
I'm just
Yeah, I think
seeing where the
it's-
shifting dollars are kind of coming from, we're not just adding another line item.
Nothing else to add? Preliminary budget discussion. You're up, Jackie.
Alright, we are by no means going line by line on this. This is just, I think it'd be easier for everyone to look at and see it. Kind of what we're gonna pay attention to is if you wanna look at the most part, if you look at that dollar change on the right hand side, that's gonna tell you if we're going up or down from 25 to 26. That's probably the easiest thing to look at. So we do have a 25 budget amount. I did put in through today's actuals, so we do know where we are year to date, and then, the proposed 26 budget that we are looking at, and then the dollar change. Just some notes all the way over on the right-hand side, just for my reference, your reference, things that remind me what goes where. So as you can see right off the bat, so the very top line, that would be what we would be levying for in the general fund. You can already see we're down 16 grand from last year. There's been a lot of changes in this, as you know, with like combining funds and getting to simplify. So I was very surprised the way this came out this year. I was shocked. So let's just kind of, not really that we need to pay too much attention on here. The purple highlight on LGA, that needs to be a discussion of what we would like to do with it. This is my highlight. It didn't copy my highlights. I'm like, purple? Okay, well, I apologize. The 186,684 is a purple highlight. That is, LGA. And you'll see, I allocated the majority of that to streets. If you don't want to do that, we can change it. I was just going with something at this point. We can kind of keep going down. There's really been no changes, just very small incremental increases. Second page, once again, very small increases, decreases. We get through the general fund now. 220 is the fire department, which Kevin went through. And the fire contracts, that's probably going to be our biggest change on his portion of the budget for income, as we try to change to more of a market value and call average charge versus per parcel. And then the other thing to note on Kevin's is we're not doing transfers in between funds anymore, so you're probably going to be that's kind of a change on that right-hand side column with ups and downs. We're just going to levy straight to funds. We're not going to take from 220 to put to 402 to from 303 to 601 to 405 to, we're just cleaning it up that way. So just for this first year, those numbers might seem a little way off for those factors.
Where did 98,000 go? I thought I was at like 390.
So because your capital is 100,000 levy.
Oh, okay.
We're levying straight,
Levying
remember, we're levying straight to capital, so these are just your general operating.
Okay.
And we're levying for your capital.
Yep.
Yep. So we go down to 230 Park and Rec. You know, not a ton of big changes there. Our sole income for Park and Rec is pretty much taxes. 235 is our Park and Rec capital. I put 50,000 in here from LGA. So our LGA only went up maybe what, $1,200 I think from last year. It wasn't any big increase.
Didn't go down.
Yeah, it didn't go down. Very, yes. EDA, we actually cut quite a bit out of, by half. We get down to 275, that's our EDA fund. There's just really not a lot going on in there right now.
We can wait till 2027.
Huh?
We can wait till 2027, when we actually have potential development.
Community center 290, for income, you know, obviously looking at that rent revenue. I'm hoping next year we can hit 10,000, you know, we're at 6,500 for the year, but you know, we still have holidays coming up, so I'm not sure. I didn't ask how well we worked out for the rest of the year, but you know, for an $8,000 budget this year, we're at 6,500 with 4 months to go. I think we're sitting good. So I thought that increase was fair.
Can I make a recommendation for the community center?
Yeah.
It'll take some work, obviously, and don't do it right now, but I think it'd be a good idea to start talking to, you know, Jackie B's or 1212 about, hey, you got a catering menu, and then going out to those businesses, want to host a holiday party, here you go. Or you can just broadcast that all to anybody as well. But I think it'd be a good way to potentially generate some interest there.
So these we're getting into our debt service funds, 300 for debt service. Obviously we paid off Montrose Meadows, we've got downtown improvement, which we'll levy for those. Clement Avenue, those are all levied. We transferred 314 and the 601 to the water fund, so you won't see anything coming out of 314 anymore. 401, we're gonna get into our general capital. So this is where, like, capital for, our auditors actually want our streets capital to move into 401. So this is where we'll see our streets, anything we're planning for, like, computer-wise, things of that nature. You know, like a server for $30,000 or whatever it's gonna be. You'll see I put, the LGA for 500,000 into this to start helping with some of it. 402, that's our capital that we're levying for 100,000. 405, 406, 407, those all got combined into like water, sewer, and wastewater. 408, this is a new fund, so this is going to be for public works vehicles capital. So this is where we plan for, one's for vehicles and one's for equipment. So that's where we will be levying straight for that.
Where are we at on that? Dan's not here, but is he looking for new equipment?
Yep, we're gonna get there when we get to the expense side, which is doing revenues. Expenses will be the fun side.
Okay.
This is boring, there's nothing to this. I thought we were flying through it.
Okay.
Let's see, and you can see the storm trunk, we transferred that out as well. 504 has been paid off a long time, and I know what I was doing for. 506 is where that's gonna be combined. That was the street fund we were using was 506, and we're gonna change that. Let's go down to 601 water fund. So the amount for the levy in here is for the debt. We are levying for a little bit of debt on there. Otherwise, if you turn the page, and that's where we get into our water sales, the water meter sales, the water access charge. So that's where we're coming with our main funds there. I wish this was working, but we will get to the rate stuff in the back. That's like the last part, but these numbers are pulling from the rates. A lot of these, not the sales so much, but like the access charge and penalty, some of them are based on like the WAC fees that we get, and we have to guesstimate how many new construction we're gonna have the next year. Well, it's a game. So we're hoping that we're gonna be close. 602, sanitary sewer, once again, based off of sales. You know, we calculate out the volume and then just make a guesstimate of an increase for the next year based off the water flows we're having. Refuge fund, we do not use that anymore. That is closed. That was garbage. 604, stormwater. Once again, charges, and then wastewater. Isn't that fun? So if we go to the next page, we're going to go to expenditures. So this is where the thick of it comes. Once again, looking at that dollar change on the right-hand side, that's probably kind of the key area to look. You want to, you know, if we're going up or down on line items. First area is council. Not, you know, a whole ton of increase. We did add that kind of miscellaneous. You guys have like a discretionary fund of 5,000. So that's going to be the main area of increase in that area. Next to elections, we do have the general election for government next year, so we have to have for those wages and the maintenance on the machines. The next area is going to be treasurer. So you can see the wages. Let's see. Most of these we were able to kind of decrease. The biggest one will be the newsletter. I took out the cost of printing the newsletter and the cost of mailing the newsletter. So those are going to be kind of the bigger ones that you see in that area. And then you'll see the website maintenance, which is the second line from the bottom, the revised annual fee, so that's what we pay every year as a fee. And then the mobile app, 3,400, and then yes, an additional 6,500 just for that one-time setup. So I put 11,000 in there for the first year, and then obviously we'll drop off that 6,500 if we decide to go forward. Training got bumped up a little bit. Just I know, I think Marie wants to start doing some more training and see what else is, and myself, I'd like to go see what else is out there as well, and anybody else. I think those are the major. Any questions so far on this page or anything? No? So kind of still looking at that treasurer area, that 41510 we're still in. You can see the newsletter printing came out for $7,000 as we're going all digital. Travel expenses increased slightly just because of conference and trainings that we might find. And you'll see that first big negative is a transfer. We're not transferring between funds anymore, so that's why there's such a large difference there. So, the assessor, that's an agreement with Wright County, so we kept it the same, and we were at 29 this year, so I didn't think there was too much of an increase for next year. Legal, kept them the same, because you never know what's gonna happen with legal. Next, planning and zoning. This really pretty much stayed the same. The only thing that got changed would be, some of the wages that go there for staff. Otherwise, I kept all the amounts the same. So moving down into the 41940. What is that, general government? Yep, city hall, grounds and buildings. Another one, not too much action to start here, a little bit of a decrease. Flip the page, really nothing, total decrease of $700. Police contract, biggest increase probably, almost $20,000 right there. So that's based on the contract that's signed with Wright County. Building inspection, kept the same. Emergency management, Kevin and I talked, kept it all the same. Animal boarding, kennel, I don't think we really do anything there, right? Down into public works. Once again, that first area, those are the staff wages. And then coming down through, and I kind of wish Dan was here because I didn't make notes on these, but like there's in equipment repair and maintenance, he's got a 14,000 jump. Because I didn't make a note as to why we sat down with three of us and kind of went through the public works stuff and the parks and all our enterprise funds. I don't know if he's anticipating some repairs coming through. I don't remember that part.
There was the one plow truck that we kind of did by, I don't know.
Yeah, the 06, we're trying to loop that one through until we can get the next one.
And I'm
And the
guessing,
sweeper.
talking with a couple of the guys and stuff too, I know that sticker shock, the same thing has happened with us, sticker shock of repairs has been
Yeah. It's
catching you off guard.
inflation of it.
Yeah, it's tough right now to plan for that and cross your fingers and hope, but.
Mm-hmm. So if we flip the page, again, we kind of bumped at that street repair and maintenance, 10,000, kind of slowly trying to keep that, bump it up a little bit every year. Insurance got decreased. The heavy machinery, we took that out because we're gonna just, plan for that through capital. We're not gonna do it through the general fund anymore. It'll all be capital. With the computer equipment, so the computer equipment when it's purchased is broken up between a couple different areas. We are planning for 3 brand new desktops next year. Ryan is getting one, Dan, and the scanning. which Ryan needs one, oh my goodness, that thing is so good. We got quotes on what those would be already, kind of made up a spreadsheet, so I'm adding 5% per year cost increase. And then we've already kind of laid out a plan of who's gonna be replaced, and we're trying to come up with a schedule for it, like a 5-year, if it's laptop, if it's desktop, how often are we gonna replace them and things of that nature. So we're getting on a good schedule with that. So we're prepping for next year's first purchase already, and I think the next discussion will really be a new server, and if we wanna go virtual, or if we wanna stay, I don't know what it's called, in a different room.
Just physical.
Whatever we call that. So, cause I mean, that's gonna be 20-30 grand, so we'll have to start thinking about it. And if we go to the cloud, you're gonna have a conversion cost and all, that kind of stuff, so it's gonna be more, but I don't know what the solution is, I don't know really what to recommend at this point, but I think that's gonna be a discussion topic coming down the line.
Buffalo in the cloud, or are they physical still? Or-
Yes. A little bit of both.
Yes.
A little bit of both.
Well,
So actually, overall, when you look at public works, from this year's budget to next year, they really only went up about 2 grand, all said and done. Down in the fire department, they're minor ups and downs, we really didn't have a ton. The biggest thing you're gonna see at the bottom line is it's $100,000 difference, but that's because it's $100,000 being levied capital. So that's why you see that $100,000 difference. Otherwise, he's really within $1,000 of this year. Any questions on fire so far, on the 220 fund? Sorry, what I should say, so the first digit, like, is that 220 you see on the left?
Yeah.
That's the fund number, that's what I keep referring to, I'm sorry. I think everybody knows because I know.
Yeah, follow them.
Figured it out.
I got a question.
Yeah.
How did workers' comp go down 8 grand?
Because I'm doing it a different way. I'm doing it more precise. Like, just I'm taking like instead of taking the whole and just 20% everywhere, I'm doing actual.
No, I get it. Yeah.
So that's
I
why
knew it was gonna go down some, but I saw that much.
we were out, there were out of whack.
Public Works was that way too. Yeah, it was like a 5 grand.
Yeah, so it's that first full year that we're really seeing that change, because we're actually allocating to what is really for that department, instead of just 10% everywhere.
So what are you doing for the paid family medical leave?
I'm waiting to get the quote back from AT Group. I finally got all the rest of the date of birth and sent that off to Al, and I have not heard anything back from him yet. That's been 2 weeks now.
So is that gonna just be plugged somewhere for the first year anyways?
It's gonna have to be under the, I don't know what it would be.
Cause can we certify the preliminary levy before we have that number figured out?
It's gonna be, I wish I knew what it was gonna be. Otherwise, we can just throw in $1,000, or I don't know what it's gonna be. I can reach out to him and just say, hey, where are you at? Can we either don't approve him?
Cause we can always go down,
We can't go
go
up.
up.
Yeah. I'll make a note for that.
And I know the fire departments are gonna be going balls to the walls again in the legislature to get some exemptions. Which they're pretty confident they'll get because we got it on the ESST. People don't have to work it all.
And actually, yeah, because I need to do that for everyone across the board. I've just been, it's been back in his bucket, so I'm just waiting for him to get back to me. So down to Park and Rec on 230. Once again here, not too much in change. Some going up, some going down, chemical and chemical supplies, I think that's for the pond and stuff. Is what he added money, oh, and the mosquito spray, that went up, that had a big jump. So that's that $2,000 increase you see in our chemicals and chemical products. The next big increase is gonna be, I've got $15,000 for park projects. These would be like your smaller things, like let's say you did a concrete border around the park, or maybe a concrete pad under a bench, or, you know, these are gonna be those smaller projects that aren't like a capital expense. Did make that a big jump from 10 grand up to 25 grand after we talked. Sort of that was part of its mulching in there too. That is going up. Recreational programs, that $8,000 increase. 6,000 of it, we added for music in the park. The other 2 grand is kind of for some fluff, as everything increases, like we know, with paying for other things, other events in the park. So, talked with Christy and she likes 12,000 for that number for next year. You'll see that negative 10,000 improvements other than buildings, we're just kind of taking that out, and we kind of combined it with the repair and maintenance. It's the same thing. Repair and maintenance, improvements, same thing. And of course the transfers we went away with. So, you know, about a $13,000 increase to parks. We have nothing planned. 235 is park capital, and at this point we have nothing planned to expend, which we spend money for on a capital basis. And I think that, I don't know if that will change. I think there won't be anything till 27. I don't think it's going to happen in 26. So I'm planning more for 27 on that. EA, no change. Well, sorry, decreased by half. But yeah, we took away that operating transfer out of there. So basically, we're just taking $6,000 to pay it in the general fund and then July. So I'm just gonna let it stay in the general fund. Community center. We've got wages at the top. Cleaning service. So obviously, we went really high on this because we didn't know what it was going to be for 25 after discussions. So now having a better idea, we're bringing that back down to what we've been paying more actual. So that's why you see that $6,000 increase from 25, or decrease, I'm sorry. We've had discussion about Cintas and uniforms and rugs, and getting rid of weekly service. I don't know, this is just my opinion, but to pay for weekly service for rugs like in the summer and stuff, I don't know, I just feel like it's kind of a waste. So we kind of talked about maybe just buying rugs, and when they get dirty, I mean, they can be vacuumed on a weekly basis by a cleaner, and then wash them when they get bad. It's a thought. I don't know. I have not looked into a cost of how much new rugs would cost. I would have to do that yet.
Not a bad idea.
It's a thought. And I think uniforms probably won't be a discussion until contract time. For at least the 49ers. So I just kind of left that one there, and I didn't do anything with it yet. I kind of wanted opinions or thoughts, or I don't know. Kevin, is there a washer over there that will wash rugs like this at the fire department?
I don't think,
We have to get a heavy duty washer.
well, we have a heavy duty washer, but
For here.
yeah, I don't think,
What do we
Yeah,
have?
the roller would have taken with disintegrate on the bottom.
most of the rugs that you guys have here, you just take a pressure washer, set it on low, and
That's what I was
Right.
wondering too.
you're kind of screwed in the winter time, but they have a warm shop down there. I think it's warm, isn't it?
I think that's what we did in the winter.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's an option there. It's
Yeah.
putting more work on staff.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
But if you're saving,
I don't know, we I've got a spreadsheet going, I apologize, my computer isn't even like working now, so. I have a spreadsheet, I've been tracking, the uniform cost and the rug cost that's split between wastewater here and the community center, just to kind of see what we are spending a year. And it's more than I thought it was. It's
How much
not.
are the rugs right now?
I think every week is at $120 and $111. The $20 here, that's like $12 at the community center every week. That's a weekly cost.
Yeah, but, I mean, some of these rugs, to get these industrial size and type rugs,
Well, and that's what I was
you
able to
might
find
be
online.
looking at, 3 years to
Longevity.
break even, and
Well, that's where I don't know. That's why I was just looking at it.
Maybe we can look like a company like Ruggable. $200 a piece, and they're $330.
I was looking for ones on Uline, they seem pretty reasonable, and they have different grades.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, it comes down to the club and that.
Yeah, summer, it really isn't a ton around here. I can see when it rains, snow. I think those are the major times.
all of the leaves.
Yeah, but that's more vacuuming.
I was gonna say, cause they clean them every week when they're in here anyway, don't they?
They just swap them out. Oh, I don't know, they get swapped out every Monday.
Yeah, they get swapped out.
Right.
And I know two cleaner vacuums.
I would vacuum them, yeah.
So we're cleaning them and then we're paying to swap them out.
Right.
Clean.
Right.
could you see what their cost would be if you switched to like every month rather than every week?
Oh, that's like in the summer months.
Something like that, maybe?
Or just buying it from them and not having the service.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a thing too. Give a whole bunch of different outlooks on it.
Cause yeah, if we're already cleaning it, don't need to send it in.
Okay. Yep, I can look at that.
And then you were talking about uniforms too, once contracts are up.
I have a feeling that's gonna come around with discussions with uniforms. I think it was, brought up, cause like Dan and I got some logo wear added into mine. And I was thinking of, what if instead of doing uniform service, they just have a lot of career. And let's say they can buy, whatever, 5 shirts or 5, I don't know what it would be, I don't know what that would be. And I don't know what the cost would be comparison either. I'm kind of waiting for a full year of pricing to see.
With the community center.
Yep.
It's hard to say this, but the electronics over there are getting old already. Something to think about in the back of your mind. Repairs are probably gonna have to be had at some point in time, batteries replaced. And the TV's fine, that'll last for quite a while, but
So which electronics are you thinking?
the box, the microphones, the recording system, the cameras, all that kind of stuff. Just something to keep, I know there's no capital improvement fund for the community center, but
We can take it out of general capital, we can transfer it there.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff we have is working fine, it might just be having EPA out here on a more regular basis when things start kind of,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so.
Yeah.
Just kind of have it on the forefront a little bit.
So, yeah, overall with the community center, really, it pretty much stayed the same. $300. These are just debt payments, in the 300s here. General capital, so, we've got the Excel lighting that we have to start doing, or that we agreed to do now. So next year, 2026 will be the first one with $208,000 that we will have to pay for. So we are planning for that out of capital. The Sonic renewals and Quest Rapid Recovery. I'm really not familiar with what that is. I was just told it's for next year.
I believe the sonic walls are the firewalls.
Yeah, for the firewalls.
The firewalls.
So that's roughly $7,200. That we will probably get that capital for that. It was planning for capital, I guess we won't have to do it. And then we got, the 2026 seal coat project for $184,000, which is in the street improvement plan that was approved a while back. So that's our general capital.
The general capital went up a little bit.
Well, we have to plan for these things. No fire capital expenditures plan. The next three all got closed out and combined into their respective enterprise funds. 408, the public works vehicles, we are planning to replace the 2005 Chevy Silverado pickup. We did get a quote, it is just under $50,000, so that's what we're gonna plan for that replacement. The equipment, we are planning to replace 2 of the John Deere lawnmowers and the Bobcat. And we already have, quotes for all of those, and that is in it with the trade-in value of what we have. We did increase the cost just slightly because they were based on the hours that are on the machines right now. Obviously, the Bobcat's gonna go over winter, and mowers still have 2 months left them out. So, we just put a little bit of a cushion there, knowing that that will probably change, because they won't stay current.
How big of a stack do we know that we're going with in the John Deere? Sorry. Yeah,
Is that buying new?
2026. Well, it's a Z997R diesel Team Turf commercial mowing package. That's the trade-in, that's the trade-in. 72 inch. So that's basically the public works vehicles and the public works equipment that we're kind of planning for next year. The AUAR we closed out, street improvement, nothing will come out of there anymore. Not using downtown improvement anymore. We are into the water fund, 601. Most of these once again stayed the same. Most of the increases up front are gonna be wages. We actually went down on the chemicals on this one because we have been staying consistent with the goal 20 grand for the last 3 years. So again, decided to lower that to 25 grand. If we flip the page, we've got that 10,000 increase in engineering fees, and that's because of the Highway 12 work going on. So increase that. Our bank fees have gotten significantly lower since we switched from, I can't remember the name of those, PSN to Nuvei. So that has been really nice and not getting the charges like we used to. It was crazy what we used to pay. Some minor ups and downs there, insurance, utilities. Depreciation is something that I am just told to copy from the year prior, so that's what I do. Because Adonai handles it. Keep going down. We've got our debt coming out of there, our debt payments. So overall increase, 165,000 in expenses. But you know, we did combine 3 funds into one. So you gotta kind of remember we saw a lot of increases in the other funds, and we're gonna see that here now. Sanitary sewer. Once again, it's all wages up at the top. Kind of seeing the same things with like, the bank charges due to Nuvei dropping off. Depreciation. We are planning to get a jetter. We are planning to get, a sewer jetter. Total cost is like yeah, it's split out between, so total cost is $123,000. I will tell you right now that they planned it to cost $60,000 in the original CIP.
That's what we see.
So, yeah, we're dividing it out, 80% is going to sewer and 10% to stormwater, 10% to wastewater. That's what Dan wanted the cost to dig it out. So you'll see up that first one, will be, that $97,000 increase towards the bottom for that jetter. So the majority of the cost is going to come out of sewer. So with that being the blunt of the increase, so, what are we up? 140, 155,000 in, huh?
157, if my math is right. Or your little blue numbers that say 150.
Oh, I'm not even looking, I'm looking at my head.
Seven, seven.
Thank
Yes.
you for that reminder.
You're welcome, that's what I'm here for.
Down to stormwater. Dan is planning for a little more of a catch basin repair, so that's where that $10,000 increase is coming from. Once you see again the sewer jetter coming out, we've got some debt payments still. And so yes, increased about 78,000. Wastewater. The legal fees, we budgeted for an increase because of the wastewater plant. We're just seeing more and more. Chemicals, we're slowly just gonna keep bumping that, probably $5,000 a year. Just kind of used to seeing that one, just inflation. The utilities, this is a weird one. We talk about this with the electric and everything, and it's so fluctuate. I don't know. I think we get credits on it from the solar, and it's hard to like really guesstimate where it's gonna be. So,
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place.
it is. It's just all over. I mean, it'll be negative. I think it's been negative for like 4 months, and all of a sudden, like the solar credits catch up, and then we finally have a bill, and it's weird. So that's the electric utilities, water, gas. Yeah, we flip the page again. You'll see that jetter expense coming out again. So only increasing about 27,000 here. So, the next page that says capital improvement fund levy, this is basically what we're levying for just for capital expenses. So that 70,000, originally it was planned for like a basketball court, I think in one of the parks. And Christy has since said, let's please build it. Can we just put it away for future? Why not? You see the 715,000 out of general, we've been through that, that's that computer items, the Excel. I am planning for 500,000 in street improvements, even though we only plan to spend 184. So we're gonna start cushioning that street improvement plan. Fire department, we're just doing 100,000. And then you'll see that we are levying for the vehicles and the mowers and bobcats. So we're gonna levy for all that.